The Utah Jazz defeat the Boston Celtics with a last-second tip-in. 8th-ranked BYU in basketball defeats Villanova for their first season game. And the college football playoff rankings get released. This is Newbie Sports. All right, kicking everything off, I got to shout out the BYU Cougars with their first win of the season against Villanova. I think that's a good win. Villanova is a historically good program, so right off to the right foot. Also, Debonsa taking the lead, 21 points. I think that was a very good first game, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. He could be a one season and done, but could be a really good season on that one season and done. But we'll see what happens, and that's BYU basketball so far. If you have anything you'd like me to focus on with college basketball, please shoot that down in the comments, and I'll follow as best I can. I'm a little bit more savvy with college football, but I would like to expand my horizons on that just a little bit. College football rankings, mostly correct. Mostly no complaints. I have a few notes though. Tennessee, why is Tennessee on here? They're the only 3-loss team in the rankings at all. Memphis is leading their conference. North Texas, I even could argue could be there too, because they just knocked off Navy. Why is a 3-loss team in the top 25? I don't care if they're in the SEC. One of the group of 5 teams should have at least gotten that spot. That's silly to me. We're going to have a group of 5 represented in the college football playoffs. They should be somewhere in the top 25, even if they're at the 25 mark. So that's one bit about this system that's gotta get fixed. Some love for the Big Ten teams. Not a lot of those higher ranked, a lot of those 20s ranked Big Ten teams haven't gotten recognition in the AP poll, but they're still in the running. The Big Ten, at least for that second participant in the Big Ten championship game, is a lot more open than people realize. It's going to be either Ohio State or Indiana that probably playing against each other, but maybe it's not one of them. Maybe one of them gets a loss. The Big Ten is not as closed as people realize, and there's some teams that are gonna try to make some noise in the last little bit. Maybe get to the Big Ten championship game, and maybe get a playoff recognition bid just by participating in that. So I like to see them get some love. Vanderbilt, I feel like they're a little low. I don't think 16 is very fair. I think they played fairly well in the games they lost, especially that win against Texas. That loss against Texas, rather. But to enter the fourth quarter down 24 points and to score 21 unanswered and almost get that onside kick, that was a very valiant effort for the Vanderbilt Commodores. And I think 16 is a little low. They're not out of contention for the SEC championship game. So, not the best. I would have put them probably where they put Utah, which is at 13. Why? They're a 2-loss team. They have to win out the rest of the season and pray that 2 teams in front of them have key losses. There's about a 1% chance that the University of Utah goes to the Big Ten championship game this year. And we'll get to my prediction later on this week, but I think BYU is going to lose that game. And if BYU loses that game, I think that BYU wins out the rest of the season, and I think Texas Tech does too. So they're not looking good for Utah. And I don't think they bring a 2-loss Big 12 team into the playoffs. I don't think it's going to happen. They would have to win every game by 100 points to even consider get one of those at-large bids. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Unless they get to the Big 12 championship game, which If Utah loses, that the chances of that are near zero. Near zero. Now, we got to keep our heads up. BYU got knocked off by Kansas last year. That ended up being the key loss to take them out of contention in Arlington last year. So anything could happen. And none of these teams that BYU is playing the rest of the year are terrible teams. None of the teams that Utah is playing the rest of the year are terrible teams. Let's bring it up once again. Utah has not gone a season since their 2008 undefeated season where they have fewer than 3 losses. They're at 2 losses right now. Where's their third going to come? Is it going to come in the regular season or the bowl game? I think it's going to come in the regular season. And then they're definitely out. There's people griping, there's Utah fans griping with me on the internet about this at the moment. And they can be silly all they want. And I'll leave it at that. But we talked about Utah. Notre Dame and Texas being as high as they are, I also don't see that. I don't. Notre Dame is a brand. Notre Dame is not a terrible football team, but just like Utah, why? They've lost 2 games so far this year, and I don't think that they're gonna win out. I don't. I don't see the necessary love for Notre Dame besides, oh, they're Notre Dame. And I hate that. What have they done this season? 2 losses doesn't warrant number 10 in my mind. Absolutely not. Just my perspective. And then, I lost my notes. It's almost as if I need to pay attention or something. But Texas, so shaky the whole year, and they've had a really valiant couple of games. But to be down by as much as you were against Mississippi State in the first place, that's concerning. The losses that you've had, that's concerning. Only getting a touchdown in your first game of the season, that's concerning. And I don't care that it was in August. It still matters. And we'll get to Ohio State in a minute, but you leave Ohio State at 14 points and you don't get the win? Really? Anyways, Texas is ranked too high. Notre Dame's ranked too high. The University of Utah is ranked way too high. I don't see it. I don't see why any of those teams are ranked as they have. I can't really argue anything going the rest of the way. Besides, I think I would flip 1 and 2. I think Indiana has a significantly better set of wins, and I think Ohio State has not faltered at all. I don't mean that in any kind of disrespectful way. That first game against Texas has me raising my eyebrows very wide. You only scored 2 touchdowns against this team? You managed to win by only scoring 2 touchdowns, but you only scored 2 touchdowns against Texas when they looked the worst they have all season. That first game was really bad. I was really disappointed with that game, actually. 14-7 is not a good score. Now just watch me being wrong about the score. Feel free to scorch me in the comments if I'm wrong about that score. My phone is currently recording, so I can't fact check myself. But feel free to scorch me in the comments if I got that wrong. But I think Indiana has stepped up to every challenge that they've faced this year, and they have succeeded really strongly. I think beating Oregon at Autzen is very significant, and more significant than beating Texas at a neutral site game, for example. So I think Indiana should be ranked number 1. I do. I'm fine with Ohio State being 2. And really the reason they're ranked number 1 is they're defending champs. They're the defending champs and they're undefeated. So you got to put them at 1. I can almost understand that. I think Indiana's a better team so far. We'll see what happens. And then lastly, I have an announcement. We are going to have a little bit of a game, a little bit of a giveaway. At the end of this season, for anyone who can defeat me in points, that I'll lay out here in just a moment, I will put a little ticket in a bowl and do a drawing for someone to receive a $20 Amazon gift card. So here's how this is going to work. Just like I've been doing the last couple of weeks, I'm going to have these predictions. And on my predictions, there's going to be a series of points. You get 1 point if you pick the winner correct. You get another half of a point for each team's points you scored correctly. Now, if you said that Auburn was going to get 30 points and they only got 27, but the other team got 30 points, doesn't count. If you say this team is going to get this amount of points and they do, you get half a point. And this team is going to get this amount of points, you get half a point. So a total of 2 points total can be awarded. I'm also going to award a quarter of a point if you get the point differential correct. So if you don't get either of the points correct, like you say Auburn at Georgia, it's going to be 30. It's going to be 30 to 28, and it ends up being 26 to 24. You got the point differential correct, so I'm giving you a quarter of a point. 2 points maximum, so you can't get the point differential and each of the points scored. So you could theoretically get a quarter of a point, a half a point, or 1 point, or 2 points. And yeah, how this is going to work is I'm going to make some predictions. You leave your predictions in a comment on this video, on the video that makes the predictions. And I got to have a stipulation. The comment cannot say edited. It cannot say edit. We gotta keep us honest. Gotta keep us honest. So any comments that are posted before the games begin, which means that I need to have my videos out about Thursday evening or Friday during the day sometime to give you guys a chance to actually do that. But yeah, I'm going to have my predictions earlier on in the week than I've done, and anyone who can defeat me in their predictions, I'm going to put 1 ticket in this bowl for every point you get higher than I do. And if you have fewer than 1 point, like 0.75 points or something, that is going to roll over to the next week. And yeah, at the end of the year, at the end of the season, rather, after the national championship game, I'm going to do a drawing, and the person who I drew out of the bowl is going to get a $20 Amazon gift card. And we'll talk about how we'll get that once we get to that point. But yeah, there's that. There's my thoughts on the top 25 rankings, and there's this game that we're going to play the rest of the season. Later this week, I am going to break down all the conferences, and then I'll give you my predictions for this upcoming week's key games. And yeah, do you like my takes? Do you hate my takes? Please leave a like and comment if you have any thoughts that you want to share. If I'm missing something or if I'm lacking something, please feel free to leave a comment about that. Especially the ones that you don't think that I'm getting right. I want to hear those. Anyways, this has been Newbie Sports.